I'm always curious if you guys know what we get, so this
No,
is what
let
they
me see.
sent
A
us.
lunchbox?
Yes, but
What's
I have
in
to
it?
unveil. I have to do the reveal, and then I'll.
I'm afraid.
This.
Yeah, sure. You got
Okay,
yeah.
so
build up your strength.
There you go. Drugs apparently.
Well, that's
AKA
good.
mints, I'm sure.
I hope mints, but if you take those to the airport. Oh, good. Some glasses, some Matt Damon.
Four said mints.
Oh, you had to crush them.
You'll have to see it in the movie.
Wow.
And then peanut butter and jelly.
Oh, because she makes a sandwich that
You know what's missing? A ping pong paddle.
Exactly. You know, it's funny, when I showed the movie to the Coen brothers, the first note I got was, thank God there's still the ping pong paddle.
You have to go see the movie and you'll know what we're talking about. You have said that you want this to reflect the times that we're in.
Sure.
In your opinion, what does the American dream mean now?
Well, I think the American dream doesn't change much. I just think that other people want to be able to participate in it as well. And that's always an important part of this. I think that when we look back at times that we think we were at our best, the 50s is one of the big ones. We always look back at the Eisenhower years and think of the economy doing well and coming home from the war, and we'd been so successful. But the reality was it probably wasn't so great unless you were a white male,
Right.
And so I think it's always good to have a realistic discussion about what our expectations are and how everyone should be allowed to have the same expectations.
Is there anything from this era? When I saw the film, one of the first things I thought was, I need to get to know my mailman. Like,
Yeah.
I see him,
Well,
made me want to meet him.
Well, the interesting thing was, in real life, in Levittown, Pennsylvania, where Mrs. Meyer, who was African American, moved into Levittown, Pennsylvania, the mailman knocked on the door and said, "Is Mrs. Myers here?" And she said, "I'm Mrs. Myers." And he said, "Really?" And he went door to door. He called himself the Paul Revere of Levittown to tell every white person in town, "Have you met your black neighbor?"
Yeah, that is amazing.
Pretty crazy. So be careful with your mailman.
My mailman, he seems pretty nice though. I'm going to go out.
I'm gonna say I don't trust him.
Okay, I'm going to tell him you said that.
Well, does he bring you bills?
He does, unfortunately.
Well, then I don't trust him.
Because not everything is online, sadly, for me.
Oh, it's not.
No, and I'm not the best at sending in checks.
Oh, no.
Yeah, no, I'm much
well,
better if it's all controlled online. It's interesting. Noah, who I heard said you're one of the best directors he's ever worked with, and I thought that sounds great, but he's like 10.
He's like 3 years old. Yeah,
Right?
it doesn't really count.
Has he worked with many?
Yeah, exactly. No, he's worked with one. That's it. He's like one of the best directors I've ever worked with. It's like, shut up. You're an infant.
He's incredible in this movie.
He's British.
I didn't realize that until I watched one of his interviews. I'm like, what?
It's crazy. Yeah,
He's incredible.
When you do a movie with kids, I did ER. I played a pediatrician, so I worked with kid actors all the time, and most of the time, a child actor is really there just because their parents are living out some sort of fantasy,
Right.
and they shouldn't be there. I mean, it really happens an awful lot where you feel like it's too much for them. They're not really in. You shouldn't be that young and say jump and have a bunch of adults say how high. And somehow this kid is just made for it, built for it, and it was easy to do.
He's so good. He's wrapping up quickly. We're actually, since this weekend, we're actually doing our show. We've already shot it at a car place, and because you feature some vintage cars.
Sure. What car place are you? Where are you?
Brown's Classic Autos.
Oh,
in
yeah.
Scottsdale.
Oh, yeah.
Big.
No
Jay
rust in
Leno's-
Scottsdale. That's
No.
why you go there.
But I wanted to ask you, what was the car that you had the most emotional attachment to? Is there one?
I still have it. My dad, in 1959, took all of his money that he had, because he'd met my mom, who was in the Miss Kentucky pageant, and he was driving an old DeSoto, and he wanted to impress her, so he bought a 1959 Corvette in 1959. They spent a good portion of their marriage trying to pay it off, and it was the family car. It's a two-seater.
Oh, no.
My sister sat on a pillow between the stick shift, and I sat on my mom's lap as her airbag. And my mom and dad sent it out here, and I just got it completely restored, and I have it. So I still have it.
That's awesome. I love
Yeah.
that story. I thought I had it rough on family road trips. I'll bet that was pretty painful.
It wasn't the best road trip.
Oh,
Holding onto the bar,
Well, this is excellent.
you
Congratulations
very
on this
much.
and everything. Nice to see you.